Hey guys, Vong here today. As you can tell from my previous video that I uploaded last week, there was uh, there was a bug or something that happens to my Nintendo Switch that would not allow me to play one of my games. So it was the Serious Sam collection games that I tested. I figured out that it doesn't work. Every time I try to access it, it would just keep asking for updates. And despite me trying to update it, it wouldn't update it, and it kept giving me that pop up. So I figured that over the weekends I check it out, try to figure out what the issue is, how to fix it. And I did try to contact these guys, the developers, and even Nintendo themselves. Never heard back from either of them. So I decided to just do some research and try to uh, work things out to see how I can handle it. Nobody online knew anything about this either. I don't think anybody has ever had issue with these before. But what the issue was is that I was trying to access this game, and what it was trying to what it was telling me is, do I want to update the game? And despite I hitting download, it would not download it. It would just pop up again and again and again. But now I have my Nintendo Switch OLED here. This is the OLED version. So this one is my backup unit. I usually don't use this one unless there's something wrong with my primary one. So I got my regular Nintendo Switch that has all these games already in it. Now I did have to factory reset my regular primary Switch. So now on that one, every data, everything on it is all brand new again. It's still back to the system firmware, but everything else on there is all pretty much factory reset now. So these two games should work on those two okay now. But the only thing is that it's kind of stupid because now I have to re-download everything again, and that yeah, that's pretty much what I did to that's pretty much what I did over the weekend, is pretty much just re-download all the games that I have lost. But now I'm going to demonstrate with this backup unit on what the issue really is. So as you know, right now, these two games are the two that I found to have that issue. Pretty sure there's still more, but I haven't tested all these other one here yet. And I'm pretty sure that at some point these might have it too. But for this demonstration, this I like to call is the update bug or update glitch, because these are the only two games that I try over the weekend that for some reason actually has that issue. So Sword of the Vagrant here and the Serious Sam collection here. So if we access these two games right now, they'll work. But just remember that if you press start and you access the game setting here, you'll notice that they are at their current firmware now. So for Serious Sam here, it's at version 103. So if we access it right now, it'll it'll let us play the game. So let's see how it loads. And I'll demonstrate I'll demonstrate the problem to you guys once it comes up. But for now, this is proof that the game is working okay right now. So as you can see, it's loading up. If I want to play the game, I can just press A. So we can go single player, campaign mode, load game, and we can load up to where we left off. So yeah, the loading takes time. So let's load up to where we last left off. So alright, so here you are. So this is the Serious Sam collection. So this is part 1 of the collection. So as you can tell, it works okay. So there you go.
Yeah, it's all fun and games until somebody loses an eye.
Yeah, so that's pretty good. So right now, that's great. Sword of the Vagrant, the same thing. If we go to the game setting here, it's at version 1.1. If we try to update it, it'll just tell us, yeah, right now we're using the latest version, so that's good. If we load it, it loads just fine. So this is to prove that these two games for now works okay, so we don't have to worry about it. What we do have to worry about it though is the next step we're gonna try. And I didn't really know this until I actually got it, but if we go to load game, we continue from where we last left off. So this right here is Sword of the Vagrant. I also got this game on Steam as well, so even if there's something wrong with this version, at least I got that one to fall back on. So this one's pretty good. Yeah, it's a very 2D-ish kind of game. Kind of reminds me of Dragon's Crowns and Muramasa. It's like a vanilla-ware game. So yeah, so you go. It's pretty much like a 2D side scrollers. So everything works okay. So we travel. Graphic looks really nice. So yeah, it works okay. Okay, so we now know that these two games, as they were right now, they were great. But like I said, when I first download these two games, these are games that I really heard good news about. So when I read the review for both of them, they are like games that I enjoy. That's why I bought them and download them. So these are my digital copies of Sword of Vagrants and Serious Sam. So they were good right now. But because I knew that they are good games, I decided to buy physical version of those two games. So this is the Sword of the Vagrant and the Serious Sam collections. So these are the cartridge physical version of these two games. And this is where the issue comes into play. So if you're a Switch owner that only got played your games digitally, you don't have to worry about this bug. If you are the kind that only plays physical games, you also don't have to worry about it. But this bug will apply to you if you own both versions. So if you're the kind who not only buys them digitally, but also collect them physically too. So here's what I'm trying to do. So right now we'll take these two cartridges out and we'll see how they handle. So these two games right here, so Sword of the Vagrants and the Serious Sam collections. Now the thing is, because these two are digital version and these two are physical version, these two physical versions are actually the up-to-date version of these two games. So when we plug these two in there, these two will get the up-to-date firmware. So if we remember that Sword of the Vagrant is 1.1 and Serious Sam is 103. So it's 103 up there. So let's see how it is when we put the cartridge in there. So if we put the cartridge in there, okay, so now that we got the cartridge icon in there telling us that now we're playing the cartridge version, or the cartridge version is in there. But if we go to the setting again, now look at it. You see how it changed now? Now it's not version 1.1, now it's version 1.2. So the issue now is, as long as we don't play version 1.2, we can still play version 1.1. So if we take the cartridge version out right now and we access version 1.1 again, yeah, we can still play version 1.1. But if we play version 1.2, which is the cartridge version, notice that it still works. Okay, so now we're playing version 1.2 now. So like version 1.1, it still works. Okay, so if we go to load, notice that we still have our save games. Do you want to load this? Yes. Okay. So now it's still the same game. There really is nothing changed about it. The only thing is we're playing 1.2 now. So now we're at version 1.2. Let's see how it plays. So as you can tell, it's pretty much still the same. Okay, but if we left version 1.2, you can tell it's still 1.2. But if we take the cartridge out, so now it's not the cartridge version anymore, and we check that again, see, it's still version 1.1, so it doesn't get updated at all. And if we try to go to the internet and check it, it says we're still using the latest version. But because we play version 1.2, this is what happens. This is the bug. Because we play version 1.2, the Nintendo Switch recognizes that, hey, we found out that you play version 1.2. So now we realize that you still got version 1.1. Do you want to update to version 1.2? If you say yes and download, it's not gonna let you download. It kept asking you again and again, do you want to download? And that's the bug right there. If you want to download, it won't let you download. And then the only other option is to cancel. So now you are locked out of the digital version. Now you can't even play your digital version anymore because your digital version is 1.1. And because the Nintendo Switch, because when you play 1.2, the Nintendo Switch knows that you play the latest version, but version 1.2 for some reason is tied to the cartridge version. So this right here, the cartridge version is 1.2. The one on the eShop and the one that you download is still 1.1. So anytime when you play, if you play an updated version of the game and you're gonna go back to the digital version, which is the previous version, you're not gonna be able to play the previous version, because once the Nintendo Switch realizes you play an updated version and you go back to playing the previous version, it will tell you, yeah, you have to download the up-to-date version. So no matter what you do, it won't let you download. And the reason for that is because the version 1.2 was tied to the cartridge version only. So online, version 1.2 is nowhere. It's not available online. It's not available on the eShop. It's not anywhere there. And I think Rainy Frog, the developer that made this game, probably did not think this through, because if you apply an update to the cartridge version, you should have done the same thing to the digital one as well. And now if you ever own both version, if you own both the cartridge version and the digital version, and if the cartridge version, if the digital version is not up to date with the cartridge version, you're not gonna be able to play the digital version anymore. You have to play the physical one now. So because I play the physical one, the Nintendo Switch will only allow that latest version to be played. It doesn't give me an option to play the previous version anymore, even though I have the game right here. So no matter how many times I downloaded, it wouldn't let me download an update because the update doesn't exist. It only exists in the cartridge. It doesn't exist anywhere online anymore. So no matter what I do, I can't play this game anywhere. That's what happens to Serious Sam here too, when I was trying to play this on my other Nintendo Switch, my primary one, because when I bought the physical version has an up-to-date firmware, and the Switch only recognized that up-to-date firmware. It wouldn't let me play the game on the previous firmware. And that's kind of scummy right there, because that's not good. Then you have issue like this where no matter what you do, you want to play your digital version again and you can't access it. You can't even there's no way, there's nothing online you can go to get the up-to-date firmware. It's not on the eShop, it's not online. You can't even transfer anything online to your Switch anyways. So this is kind of like a scummy move on not only the Nintendo Switch but the game as well, because you really like these games, you like the digital games so much that you decide to rebuy again the physical this time just to support the developer, and all of a sudden the developer did something to this where they kind of screw you over by allowing you to play one instead of the others, and not both, because you actually bought both. So, but there is a way to kind of fix this, and that way is also kind of risky, because if this is your only Switch, then you had to factory reset everything. So that's the only way to do it. You can't delete this game, re-download it, and it'll just work okay. No, I tried that several times. I may delete this right now and re-download it from the eShop, and it still won't work. It'll still give me this crappy update message. So yeah, even if I download from the eShop again, it'll still give me this, no matter what. So you can't even fix that. I thought that there's an option here that may fix it, but yeah, there's a option here that says something about to turn off. Yeah, auto update software. If you turn that off, at first I thought that turning that off will solve the issue, but no, it doesn't solve the issue. It still asks you the same shit. So yeah, it's kind of like that. You could turn that off before you have these issues. Maybe it might help, but yeah, for now it's not helping. I mean, there's nothing you can do right now to fix just that small issue right there. So yeah, I'm not trying that on with the Serious Sam because I knew that this cartridge version of Serious Sam, plug this in there, it will change to version 103 or 104. So if I put it in there right now, and I hit this setting, you'll notice it's 104. 104 right here is for the cartridge only. If I ever play this game, if I ever play this physical version again, it's not going to let me go back and play 103 anymore. It will just give me that same crappy message as sort of the Vagrant did. So yeah, that's the bug right here. If you own a physical copy of a game and also a digital copy of that same game, before you play your physical copy, check on the firmware. Check these firmware. If the physical version has an up-to-date firmware and the digital version doesn't, then just don't touch the physical version. If you still want to play the digital one, that is. If you don't care about the digital one and you got the physical one now, then yeah, you don't have to worry about it. You just play the physical one. But if you really rely on the digital one and you still want to play that one, and you just buy the physical one for future preservation, then yeah, I guess this is a non-issue for you. But to me right now, yeah, this bug, it's not really that big of a deal, but if you really want to play both at the same time, that's really the issue, is that I can't play one or the other. If I play the digital one, then I can play the physical one maybe at a time when the physical one is no longer online. But if I ever play the physical one, then I get locked out of the digital one now. So as you can tell, I can't even play version 103 anymore. If I want to play it on this Nintendo Switch right here, I have to completely factory reset the whole system just to play my digital again. And if I ever play this physical one, unless Rainy Frog, the developer, ever update the digital one to 1.2, that will be when both of them be okay. But for now, because 102 is tied only to the cartridge, the digital one is not good. So that's the issue right here. That's the bug. So if you are fully digital on the Nintendo Switch, you're okay. You don't have to worry about this issue because the game will work no matter what. But if you're all about physical, you don't care about digital, you're also okay. But if you're like me and you want to double dip and you have two different versions, two similar versions, you got the physical and the digital, then yeah, you will find issues like this. So I don't get why they couldn't apply that firmware to the digital as well. I mean, it should be easy. They already got it on this, so all they gotta do is transfer this to the eShop and that's it. But right now, if you want to get both, you have to be careful. Always check the firmware first. If the physical is up to date and the digital does not, then just stick with the digital. But if you don't really care and you're all about digital only, you don't care about physical, you don't have to worry about it. If you're all physical and you don't care about digital, you're okay. You're all right. But if you're someone like me and you just want to play either of these versions, the digital one and the physical ones, and you want a convenience, always check the firmware first. So I'm Vaughn, and I think that's basically how I handle these issues. I gotta factory reset my Switch OLED now. Once I factory reset it, I'll let it stay the way it is because I mainly use this for backup stuff or to test stuff only. I probably might even have to mod it at some point because the successor is coming out anyways. But yeah, that's basically all I have to say here is that there is a bug with playing your games now, so you have to keep an eye on that. I'm I'm not sure about if the successor will be similar as this, but now that a bug like this exists, we have to be careful. And if you ever kind of like have this issue like where the update won't let you update, then this is it. This is that issue. This is why it wouldn't let you update, because the update, like I said, does not exist. It's only tied to the cartridge. So when it's tied to the cartridge, you have to just play with the cartridge and you can't play the digital anymore. Unless you factory reset, that is. So I'm Vaughn. Thank you for watching. If there's any update or any fix to this going forward, I'll let you know with another updated video. So yeah, you guys have a great day.